comic books are an important contributing factor in many cases of juvenile.
Look, up in the sky! Faster than a speeding bullet.
Holy, here we go again,
Hello and welcome to These Guys Have Issues, the podcast where we discuss current topics and issues within the comic book and geek community. I'm your host, Carter Hutchison.
And I'm your co-host, Huey V.
Huey, excellent to have you back in the GRC studio here, man.
It's been a long time.
It has been way too long.
It's been a long time.
Just couldn't get our schedules really to align there
man.
for a little bit. And
we work for the same company, and we
just different stores.
Different stores, and we still can't get our days together. This is like the first time that we've ever had a day off
a couple months,
together.
yeah. And it's because our boss is out of town.
Yeah.
So everybody's schedule is a little different this week. But man, I am really excited about tonight's topic, and I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun putting it together. The question we are asking to frame this topic is, what if the Green Lantern rings? So for those of you who don't know, there's more than just one color of lantern rings. It's the whole color spectrum. Roy G. Biv, all over the place. What if the Green Lantern rings were in the Marvel Universe? Which characters would have which color ring? Yeah, so a cool what if in true Marvel style here.
And the crazy part about it is when you try to put together lists like this, you can't just pick one character.
No.
It was really hard because I was just like, okay, this character. But I was like, also this character.
Oh, but this guy could do it too.
It's going to be so dope.
I had that. I had that thought a lot as well. And that's kind of what we're just going to do is I literally plan on going through it Roy G. Biv. So we're going to start with red, and go all the way to violet. And we'll just kind of discuss different, characters that we thought would fit certain colors and go from there. Sound good?
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
All right. Awesome.
Let's go.
So again, before we jump into it, here's a quick message from our Patreon. All of Grassroots Comics is funded through our Patreon, patreon.com/grassrootscomics. For as little as $1 a month, you can become part of the Grassroots Comics community, which includes many perks, such as having your name mentioned in this segment of every episode of the podcast, the ability to suggest topics of discussion for shows like These Guys Have Issues, access to the private Grassroots Comics subreddit where members can continue discussions started on the podcast or start their own, behind-the-scenes access to the GRC studio, and early access to digitally released comics and Classic Cartoon Rewind. So it is the goal of all of us here at Grassroots Comics Productions that one day the Patreon is strong enough where we are able to produce the stories, artwork, and stop-motion animation shorts pitched and selected by the Grassroots Comics community. But the only way that becomes possible is with a strong Patreon. So if you feel that the entertainment value you receive from this podcast is at least worth 25 cents, then please become a Patreon contributor today, and with our powers combined, we can have all of our stories heard. All right, now let's get on with the rest of the show. All right, and as always, we want to thank our patrons, Devin Hood and Adam Finney. We appreciate it.
The big homie Adam.
You know it. All right, so Roy G. Biv. So we're starting out with red. And before we get into each color here, I'm going to read the oath for that specific, color. So first of all, let's just talk about general Green Lantern knowledge. Do you read any Green Lantern comics? Are you a Green Lantern fan?
I haven't read Green Lantern in a long time, so
okay.
I'm kind of off. But as far as my general knowledge of each one and what the meaning of each one is,
right?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
And I guess I wouldn't know who are prominent lantern figures in each one.
Who's the prominent orange lantern? Yeah, same. I'm aware of them as a concept, but not detailed into when they appeared and stuff like that.
So I do know that there are certain lanterns that have gone across.
Yes, they can do both.
Yeah, so you have the Sinestro Corp.
Well, yeah, Sinestro started as a Green Lantern, right?
Didn't what I've read? Didn't John Stewart become a
Indigo?
Indigo. He was pretty awesome.
Yes, it is.
He had that staff, but it turned into a sniper.
Right.
It's pretty good.
That's fairly recent stuff too. That's like Scott Snyder's Justice League stuff that's going on currently.
It just all looks pretty awesome. Jesus.
So the first Green Lantern comic I picked up was Green Lantern Earth 1. The first one that I was just like, this looks awesome. I'm, set my sights on it. I, of course, was aware of Green Lantern lore and stuff before that, and the Green Lantern animated series is surprisingly good. You know what I'm talking about? The cartoon that's it came out around the time of the Ryan Reynolds movie. It's CGI. If I showed you a picture from it, you would at least recognize the animation. It's Bruce Timm and that whole crew.
Okay, if you just show it to me, I'll probably know what it is.
But it got canceled after one season. And if you're a cartoon, there's two ways to be canceled. One, be tied to a shitty movie.
Yes.
So, check. It was tied to the shitty Green Lantern movie. And two, don't sell toys. And it didn't really sell toys either. So,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right.
So,
but it's a good show.
All the major shows out there have toys, merchandise.
Think about Batman animated series, how many toys. They're still selling toys from that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right.
You will never stop. It's too classic.
Right. But no, the show was actually really good, the Green Lantern animated series. That show at least gets to the Blue Lanterns, and the Red Lanterns are a big part of it. And you even see stuff like the Anti-Monitor in that. It's good. So that's my general Green Lantern knowledge, and then I'm a huge Grant Morrison fan, so I've been reading he's the current writer of the Green Lantern book, and the 12th issue just came out. So about a year's worth of Green Lantern from Grant Morrison stuff there.
I'll check it out.
It's really good. Okay, so since we're going through it Roy G. Biv style, we're starting with red. So the Red Lantern oath is, with blood and rage, crimson red, ripped from a corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all. This is your fate. So they're the cheery, warm and cuddly.
This gave me butterflies. Just listening.
Right. What are your Red Lantern suggestions within the Marvel Universe?
Oh, man. So, we can start with...
the obvious.
The obvious.
So red is anger, essentially.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't really go for anybody super obvious.
Really?
So I'm going to go...
I guess you can leave that to me then.
Yeah. One of them's obvious, though.
Okay.
One of them's obvious. So I'm going to go with... you can go with either Killmonger.
Okay.
Killmonger.
Sure.
You can throw Bucky in there.
All right, yeah. Before, maybe pre,
yeah,
he's a hero type stuff.
Basically.
Right.
Also, and I put her in a few ones. Jean Grey.
Really?
Yeah.
Under the Phoenix, you mean? Okay.
So, just
that is a very powerful entity.
That's ridiculous.
Right. That already has Jean Grey's powers, has the Phoenix powers because this is what's making her angry, right? And now has a Red Lantern ring.
It depends on which one you go by. Do you go by the movie version where the Phoenix is just some entity inside of her that you just have to lock up, or you go by the comic version where she's just the Phoenix Force is going to come through and take over her with
right, and it goes from host to host essentially.
But either way, you can throw in there Magneto.
Okay.
I have
he's on my list, but not here.
Not here, yeah. I think I have him somewhere else too. I also put Mystique.
All right.
Juggernaut.
Woo.
Venom.
Venom's on. He's in my my red category as well.
He's going to be in I think one other spot for me, and Hela, and Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher definitely has a lot of anger in him.
That's a very obvious one for me.
It is, yeah. Let's not bury the lead here. The most obvious is the Hulk, right? You wouldn't like him when he's mad.
Yeah, I guess.
His powers literally come from him
being
angry. A Hulk with a Red Lantern ring is a terrifying prospect.
But I was thinking more of even though he has a lot of things that are terrible, you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Mm-hmm.
But Bruce Banner's he's not really fueled by his anger and hatred. It's
Well,
just
I
whenever
mean,
you really get him,
he kind of
angry,
is though. Like,
not himself.
what's that Mark Ruffalo quote? Like, you want to know my secret? It's I'm always angry.
Yeah.
Right in the Avengers movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you go by that, but with me, I guess it's just whenever you make him angry, that's just a trigger for
Yes.
the angry monster that is the Hulk.
Right.
But you just got to keep from.
Wouldn't it be great if like Bruce Banner has the Blue Lantern ring
I was
and the
thinking about
Hulk
that
has the
too.
Red Lantern ring?
It's just like a dual thing.
Right, like the ring. Either the ring can change, or the ring like only comes to Hulk when he's in Hulk form.
Now there are like 4 Hulks in that one body,
Right.
though.
Yeah.
So
there's a Red Hulk already.
Yeah, well,
You
I
could
mean,
just-
like inside Bruce Banner, there's like the
good
the
Lord.
Immortal Hulk, the Savage Hulk, and Gray Hulk, and just regular Hulk.
That's
And-
ridiculous.
Yeah, and those are like actual like entities inside like, different Hulks and everything. So that kind of would be a thing if they, like this Hulk will have this particular ring, and this Hulk would have this particular ring.
Right.
So that'd be pretty dope.
I could see that. Also on my list is Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
That's
with the
obviously-
whole like berserker, slash and everything. Like, yeah,
When I was actually looking up things where they were like comparing just random characters to just each lantern, Wolverine was obviously for Rage.
yeah, clearly. And he's always like that too. There's not really like a calm version of Wolverine that I'm aware of.
There's, recent after A versus X when he was taking over the school and everything, you have more calm.
Okay, because he's like a professor and stuff
Yeah.
at that point. Sure. The Thing is also on my list. It's clobbering time. I tried to not forget about the Fantastic Four in some of my areas.
Yeah, I think
They're
I
easy
did-
to for.
Yeah, I think
Right.
I added 1. I think I added 2. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Of mine, I think Wolverine makes the most sense. But
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
right.
When it comes down to a lot of situations, he's like kill first, ask questions.
Oh, yeah,
later.
he's the best at what he does.
Yeah.
And what he does isn't very nice.
It's not nice at
No.
all. Age of Ultron wouldn't have gone down.
Cool. He's
The
like
way
he's
it
like
did.
Captain Kirk. He just punches somebody first
Yeah,
and
he's like
asks
I go back
questions
in
later.
time to kill Hank Pym because he obviously created Ultron, so I have to kill him before he creates it.
Wow. Cool. Solid comic book logic there.
That's Wolverine logic.
Yep.
Let's kill him before it happens, but then let's create like 10 other problems.
Bad guys and the problem with that.
Ultron
Yeah.
still gets created.
Right. Of course. God, X-Men. All right. Do you have any other red lanterns?
I
We
think
got
I-
lots to go through here.
I think
so.
I put all mine out there.
All right. So, again, continuing with Roy G. Biv, we're going to go to Orange, which is greed.
Mm-hmm.
So the Orange Lantern oath is, this power is mine, this is my light, be it in the bright of day or black of night. I lay claim to all that falls within my sight. To take what I want, that is my right. So who are your
the
Orange
greedy.
Lantern? Yeah.
The
Greedy motherfuckers.
So I went with,
Donald Trump.
of course.
Right.
Oh man.
I mean, the Orange Lantern,
Oh,
like, it
dude.
just makes too much sense.
he'll get the orange, or he'll get. I think he'll end up with a red one. He's just an
Yeah.
angry old man.
Yeah, I guess so. I feel like it's
The
mostly
orange
out of
would make
greed,
sense
but
because
yeah,
he's greedy
and
and
he's
he's
orange,
orange.
so that's why I like
Yeah.
it. Right, get it.
Okay,
All right.
So I went with first. I felt like Ivis would be Loki.
Okay.
Very
Sure.
greedy, as far as like his
Lust for power.
lust for power.
Sure.
And it's just with the orange, it doesn't matter like what it could possibly be. Like emotions is something you can be greedy
Mhm.
with as well. And he found out that he was not really Asgardian. And so,
Half, yeah.
half
right?
Asgardian.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Isn't he?
No, he's not Asgardian. No,
Okay, he's just a
full,
straight up frost giant,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah, because he
All
took
right.
him, and he just has this thirst for power, this thirst to like to be better than Thor,
Yeah.
just to be seen. And so
That's
it's
true.
just
Yeah.
greed.
I guess when thinking about that way, as far as, to me, usually when I think of greed, I think of money and then like gluttony,
Mhm.
right? But sure, a lust for power absolutely falls into that category.
Which brings me to another person when you Felicia Hardy.
Really? Okay, because she's a thief.
She's a fucking thief.
Sure.
That's her main thing. She's greedy. And if you go by like the video game, especially like by the DLC where she kind of tricks Peter into helping her out, and she's just like, they have my son. And so he's like deducing this. He was like, how old is this son? And he's like, okay, that might be my kid. And it just turned out that she was lying. You know, spoilers, but she was lying and everything. She did all of that just so she can get the Magia family, which is Hammerhead. She can get the Magia, like all their secrets and everything, so she can get all their money.
Okay.
So she's willing to put herself and put people in emotional distress.
Was it actually her son?
She lied about it.
Okay.
She didn't have a son.
That two-timing.
Norman Osborn.
He's on my list. Yeah, he was the first one that
Norman
came to my
Osborn's
mind.
My first person that I wrote down.
Right.
Actually, it was second after Loki. Norman Osborn.
I think we can kind of agree that's going to be our consensus here. The Orange Goblin. You know, yeah, that just sounds cool. Any other orange ones?
I did put down like Taskmaster.
Okay. I don't know if
he has agreed to know how
all the fighting styles and everything. Yeah, I guess.
It kind of feels him.
That might fall under willpower in some to me.
You think he'd be a Green Lantern?
I mean, no, because I think you have to be.
Well, a lot of these
like,
deal with willpower.
I think you have to still be good to be a Green Lantern.
But is he bad though?
I mean, yeah, he's a mercenary.
But I mean, so is Deadpool.
Yeah, and Deadpool's not a good guy.
But I mean, he's not really. It depends on the situation. Would you still call him bad if he like saved a whole entire like?
Right, but he's not a good guy. Wolverine like does the right thing sometimes, but he's not a good guy really.
Semantics, yeah.
Okay, you anti-semantic bastard. All right, the other two besides Norman Osborn, yeah, that was the first name that came down for me. If we're sticking with, humans, Kingpin.
Yeah.
I think that would just be really cool to see Kingpin with a lantern ring for one thing. But I
thought to put him there, but I put him somewhere else.
Fear maybe, but that would be awesome just to have, Kingpin with any color lantern ring, but I think greed makes a lot of sense. Fear too, and that's how he uses fear to control the city basically.
I mean, yeah.
But then I also have Galactus on my list.
I have Galactus on my list.
And that he eats planets, So, he is greedy for more. Like, man, why you gotta eat a whole planet?
I can understand what you're
saying.
saying.
And then want more planets. Galactus is a greedy bastard. That's why.
Gobbles up, gobble, gobble. Nom, 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 nom.
Cool. All right, do you have any other orange lanterns?
No.
All right, let's see. So now we're on to yellow, because we're sticking with Roy G. Biv here.
Yes.
How many times can we say Roy G. Biv in a podcast?
After every single color.
All right, the yellow lantern oath is, in blackest day and brightest night, beware your fears made into light. Let those who try to stop what's right burn like his power, Sinestro's might. Yeah, some of these are better than others. That one's not the strongest one.
Sinestro.
It ties it so much to, I don't know. To me, it shouldn't be tied to one lantern.
Well, I mean, it's Sinestro.
Yeah, he started it. He started the Yellow Lanterns
Why
and
not?
the Indian. Right, whatever.
Why not?
All right, so what all Yellow Lanterns you got in the Marvel universe?
All right, for fear.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I put him into Doom.
Doom is on my list for fear as well.
Doom.
He controls a country through fear and intimidation. Right, he's Doom.
It's
just look at his mask, right? Yeah, he instills a lot of fear.
I really wouldn't. Doom is one of those characters that you just wouldn't want to mess with on a regular basis.
True. I can't wait till he's in the movies. He's such an untapped, great villain.
He's
to be honest,
done right. He's done right. Period.
And to be honest, Marvel has a shortage of truly great villains, in my opinion. That's why you see
It's
their
always
heroes fight.
centered around the heroes and a generic villain. You just need one big villain, like
Yes.
Thanos,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
then have like a lot of henchmen and everything that you can
Yep.
redeem. You know, you can give redeemable qualities, or you can just have them all die out.
Yeah.
This just ties all these movies together. But I feel like if you did a Doctor Doom movie,
He could have his own movie,
he
for
could
one
definitely
thing.
have his own movie.
Right.
He owns a country.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, who is that? Thanos.
Yes. He's on my list, but not here.
I think I have him on another place too.
Mm-hmm.
Thanos would definitely do well in Fear. I put Fisk.
Yes. Okay.
I put Kingpin down on there. Mysterio.
Okay, yeah, and that like his illusions are meant to,
I
and
think with
instill
that,
fear. Sure.
especially if you don't have that. Like,
Now he doesn't even need the smoke and mirrors. He can
Nope.
just,
it's just the whole entire thing. Like, you just create whatever you want.
right.
Like, the whole Mysterio persona just pretty much changes into that. Mandarin.
Okay.
Venom again.
Okay.
And I think that was it. I think that's all I have on that one.
Okay.
Did I say Magneto?
Magneto's on my list. That was the first one I thought of, mostly because of the tagline, a world that hates and fears them, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the description for mutants.
And that's his choice. Is like, if I have to get them to follow me by fear,
Love or fear, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be fear.
because they don't listen to me otherwise.
Yeah.
Might have to kill
Professor
everybody.
X, though, still trying for that, the love side of that coin, which might reveal some answers later on down the line,
Maybe.
right? And besides, I had Doctor Doom as well, and then just kind of for fun in that it matches the character, Daredevil,
Okay.
because he's the man without fear, right? And like he's the devil of Hell's Kitchen, so like he's kind of the Batman of that area,
Like a little yellow guy running around.
right? And I just think he would look great in an all yellow lantern suit with that design. Like that's one where it's just like, yes, all right, the tagline has the power listed in it,
Yeah.
and it would just look cool. So really, with those two like reasons, you can get away with stuff in comics,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Just pepper in like little pseudoscience-y things in between, and and we can make that work. All right, all done with yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we are on to green, the most famous of the lanterns, obviously.
Yes.
The Green Lantern Oath is in brightest day, in blackest night. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
Yes.
That's a good one. That's easily the
It's
best
just-
of these.
It's so powerful.
Right. Simple.
Grow like 3 hairs on your chest after reading that.
Green Lantern's might. Absolutely. I can feel them sprouting now. Okay, I had some trouble with this one, to be honest with you. Not like in narrowing it down to someone is who I had trouble with. What were your Green Lantern thoughts?
I went with some like kind of poster characters.
Same.
So I'm gonna go with Captain America.
He's my number one for this as well. And I think you can put him in several different spots on
Yeah.
this list. There's about 3 that I think Cap could get.
I got him in 2.
To me, he could have green, blue, or white.
Yep.
But I didn't put him under white because he's killed so many people. Like he was an actual
understand.
soldier,
I
and
under-
white is supposed to be the ring of life.
But
It's hard for me to put a soldier in.
There's like only a few characters in Marvel specifically
That haven't killed.
yeah.
But maybe
So it's kind of hard. So I feel like you have to like pick ones that are that value life.
And that's what I was just about to say. I think that
Right.
Cap, through war, does maybe have a different, value of life than
It's not that
others.
He loves to kill. It's
Right,
not that he
right,
wants
yeah,
to.
that's fair. That's fair. He's not Red Skull or anything. Like,
No.
oh, Red Skull would have been a great Red Lantern or Yellow Lantern, but Red especially because Red
yeah,
Skull.
I was gonna put Red Skull,
Yeah,
but like I don't know why I didn't put Red Skull down.
I didn't think
should
of it
have.
until just now. Yeah.
I should have.
All right, so Cap is Green Lantern. I like that one a lot.
And then I'm gonna trickle down to Carol Danvers.
Okay, yeah.
She would definitely be a Green Lantern.
That works. That tracks.
Scott Summers.
And she's the most like cop-like too.
Yeah.
Like that works.
She would be like
Scott Summers as a Green Lantern. That is a awesome visual for one thing, and then two, that's just I like the idea of that.
you could also, I think, at a certain point, who was it like an actual Green Lantern that became a Red Lantern? Was it Guy Gardner became a
I
Red Lantern?
don't think so. Well,
Somebody became
not that
a
I'm
Red-
aware of, but if there was a Green Lantern that would, of the main like Earth ones, it would be Guy Gardner.
Somebody became a Red Lantern, so I was thinking that, like, Scott Summers could eventually become a Red Lantern,
Yeah.
or a Yellow Lantern.
Sure, like maybe Jean dies,
Yeah,
and
or just
because that's what she
especially-
does.
especially after like the whole events of A versus X,
Right.
Avengers versus X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of like after him killing.
Yeah, he's in a
Professor
dark
X and
place,
everything.
right?
Yeah, so that easily could have him go from one lantern to another lantern, and then you have Nick Fury.
Okay, that's a
Fury-
powerful.
Nick Fury would be, as far as like somebody that doesn't have any type of like
Mm-hmm.
powers whatsoever.
I like that. And honestly, I tried to use more human characters on this list
Mm-hmm.
than like cosmic-y Marvel characters, just because I feel like the rules of the Green Lantern like make it to where it needs to be this sector, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because not everybody that becomes a Green Lantern, I think it's like through some like crazy feat, somebody with superpowers already gets one. Like,
Right.
I think it was like when Superman gets a ring or whatever, and Batman gets a ring, but I think it was like through some crazy means because it's
Yeah,
Batman,
right.
So he has to do some crazy stuff to get things.
well, I mean, Batman clearly can get the willpower one. I think there's a graphic
Batman
novel.
qualifies for like
Several of
few-
these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He qualifies for a lot of
Yeah.
things.
I've even seen him as the White Lantern before.
Yeah, I can see him as,
That's a cool costume. Batman is the White Lantern.
man.
That's a cool costume.
Batsuits-
I'll show it to you later.
Bad suits go hard.
Oh, yeah.
though,
Yeah, that's true.
like just any.
I
bat
love
suit.
alternate bat suits.
It's ridiculous. Just like playing Spider-Man and seeing all these different spider suits.
That's true. Those are probably the most like the two characters with the most like different versions of their traditional costume.
Or just like those two properties kind of have like the best things going for me. Like
Agreed.
Villains,
Yes.
storylines,
Yep.
suits.
Definitely the
lore.
villains. The only character that can sniff Batman's rogues gallery is Spider-Man's, in my opinion. Those are very similar.
Yeah,
neck
you
and
could,
neck.
You could legitimately give. I think the thing that Spider-Man's like villains have over him is that you can give most of Spider-Man's villains their own movie or their own like standalone anything.
That's true.
I feel like
yeah,
if
okay.
they made like a Green Goblin movie.
Yeah.
They made since they
Craven.
already- I'm praying for a Craven
Same,
movie.
yeah.
I'm praying for a Craven movie. That would be
Give me a Craven
Super.
Kingpin movie. Kingpin hires Craven to come in and take out Spider-Man, and yeah,
But a lot of people are just like, I think we've had this conversation where you're just like, would it be okay to have these type of properties without Spider-Man being mentioned, or him actually?
yes.
being in it?
But since Marvel and Sony have right now come back together for a deal for a third one,
Which I already knew they were going to do that anyway.
I mean, I guess I was kind of hoping it would just go back to Sony. Anyways, that's neither here nor
This is a
there.
whole nother
Right?
conversation.
Yeah. So yeah, any other Green Lantern characters?
Spider-Man.
He's on my list too. I think
I say Spider-Man.
him or
Flash.
Cap, yeah, would be my number one. The moment I'm thinking of is, you remember that very famous Spider-Man story where he's stuck under the rubble and like he's talking to himself to like inspire himself to get the willpower to lift that. In my alternate Marvel history, in that moment is when Abin Sur dies, and the Green Lantern ring has to find a new host in this sector, and it comes to Peter in that moment.
That's pretty dope.
Wouldn't that be cool if he was just like buried
That would
under
be
the
cool.
rubble? The lantern ring goes in, and then you just see like green light coming out from the rocks, and boom, there's Green Lantern and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, like, you see Spider-Man go through those type of, like, willpower moments a lot.
all the time.
And
his life has so much tragedy
so much tragedy
that it takes willpower
It's
to
just
just get
like,
through it.
How many times do we have to, like, watch the same exact stuff go over and over again in cinema? I don't want to see Uncle Ben die again.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him get his heart broken by the same person over and over again. Let's make a whole different thing. Let's keep going with the story.
Was that a shot at Mary Jane there? Is that what that was?
Oh, just in general, he's always getting his heart broken. I think if we did if they just added like Felicia Hardy into a movie.
Agreed. Betty Brant. But not like the Far From... Have you seen Far From Home yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Tragic.
What
are you doing?
Seen it or just...
Oh, yeah, I mean, you should at least see it. I didn't particularly like it.
See it though.
I mean, it's a fun movie. Whatever. All right.
I think anything directly after Endgame, it's still going to be directly after Endgame in the movie that's coming out. So it's not going to be like, oh my God, have you seen this movie? It's like,
well, no, and it's a Spider-Man movie, so it's not supposed to be like this massive Avengers movie, you know, that's the culmination of 10 years of filmmaking.
Yeah, we're going to get a third movie. I just wonder how it's going to go.
We'll see. I like Tom Holland a lot as Spider-Man. I literally hate everything around his Spider-Man. It's the Timothy Dalton problem. Well, Timothy Dalton was a great Bond as far as like an actor, you know, but the movies around him are not that solid.
Is that the one that was like the most hated Bond?
I think you see him on the bottom of a lot of people's lists, but he gets a bad rap for
like a model / actor that like.
No, that's George Lazenby, and Lazenby is still good. In fact, he's the one Bond movie he's in.
Because there's only one.
Yes, but it's not. They didn't kick him off. They wanted him to come back, but he received some of the worst advice in film history, and his agent told him that the Bond movies were a dying film franchise. This was in 1969, mind you.
It was at that point when it just getting started.
I mean, Connery had already made 5, and then Lazenby made the 6th. So Bond 25 is going to come out next year. Just yeah, like what?
Just so you know,
right?
sir.
Just epically bad agent advice.
I would have choked you out.
Yeah, for real.
I would have choked you out.
Right, and you know he basically didn't make another big movie after that either. And he got into like acid and stuff and like counterculture of the '60s. And do you ever see the movie Pirate Radio? Mm-mm. It's about like hippies that had a pirate radio station on this boat in England, and like he got involved with the guy who ran that, and that guy basically saw George Lazenby as his way to take down an establishment figure, because what is more of a British establishment pop culture icon than James Bond?
Oh, okay.
He's literally an extension of Her Majesty's government, you know.
Okay, that makes sense.
Not to make this the Bond podcast. We already have one of those. Tune into the 00 podcast.
00.
It was good. We just had to make like just an avenue just to fully get out, you know, the Bond stuff. Okay, so my Green Lanterns, you mentioned 2 of my 3 that I have down. So Captain America and Spider-Man. Although I think I like Cap better in a different color. We'll get to in just a minute.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to go with Spider-Man probably as my number 1 here. But I think Luke Cage has an argument as well for a willpower
I was thinking
ring.
that too. I was thinking that too.
Right. I could see that.
I think he's good there. And then there's some parts where you could give him like, a blue.
Yep.
I think I can give him a blue
Yeah.
for hope.
Well, that's a good transition here. So let's go on, and blue's the very next one.
Okay.
So let's go into our Blue Lantern choices. And here is I really like this oath too. Here's the Blue Lantern oath.
Okay.
In fearful day, in raging night, with strong hearts full, our souls ignite. When all seems lost in the war of light, look to the stars, for hope burns bright.
That's
I like that one a lot, right?
I like them. That's really
Makes
nice.
me feel all like warm and fuzzy
really
inside.
nice.
All right, who are your Blue Lantern choices?
All right, so I got Spider-Man on this one.
Yep.
Spider-Man would totally be for hope.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as far as like all the really good ones that stand for good things,
Yes.
he kind of qualifies for all of
I
them.
agree.
Thor.
No, that's an interesting choice.
If you gave Thor a ring,
Mm-hmm.
I would give him hope,
Okay.
or I would give him. I have another place. I would give him that, or I give him
White.
White.
Life. I almost put him down for life, but
I definitely put him down for life
okay.
because I mean he's God,
Yeah,
and
he's a demigod.
I mean, well, this is
Would you call him a demigod, or demigod's like half?
Thor is a full
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
His mom's.
See, maybe that's why I just like I had trouble characters that were already too powerful. I had
Hercules is a
trouble putting on my
demigod.
list. That's right.
Hercules is a demigod.
So,
But
yeah, Thor didn't make my list anywhere.
Thor would be
thought
great.
about him in several different areas, but I couldn't find one that he seemed to really fit to me.
I mean, his whole thing is like he's supposed to be the protector of Asgard, Midgard,
Okay.
and so his idea is like preserving life
Yeah, sure.
and making hope as well.
Yeah.
But and then I was like, I think I put him in like the weird place. So I put Johnny Storm down
For hope?
but I was just like, this is weird. So I just wanted to say that I put him down there.
Okay, just to
Yeah, no.
Johnny Storm with a ring is basically all we're looking for. It doesn't matter what color.
Where do you go?
I don't know where to put him.
No,
He's too
yeah,
arrogant.
I don't know why I
and
put
like,
him down anyway. Because Johnny Storm wouldn't really like. I don't think he would qualify for a specific
Right.
rating. But that's it.
Okay.
We'll go with Spider-Man and Thor.
Okay. So I've got my number one would be Cap. I think
Okay,
Captain
yeah.
America with hope, and just that like he is hopeful for America to live up to like the promise of itself, right? And that's my favorite version of Cap, is like as a commentary on whatever America is currently going through.
Yeah.
That's the way to keep that character always interesting. It's
Yeah.
like people that say they don't want politics in their comic books, like that's fine.
It's kind of
but-
what comic books were built off of.
Yeah, if you go back to Action Comics number one,
you
100%. But let's say that you can keep comic books and politics apart, which I think you can with some books.
Some books, yes.
But there are some books where it is intrinsic to that character. Mm-hmm. Captain America being one obvious one. Green Arrow, I think, is a character as well that, like, if you open up a Green Arrow book, you should expect a certain level of politics from it.
Yes, because I say that even with like Batman too, both of those characters like they
Maybe in kind of different ways. Batman's more of like a
but they both deal with the politics of what's going on in their specific areas with like Star City and you have Gotham and it's
right.
just-
But I mean, Green Arrow will actually spout like actual like leftist.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
because that I mean
Yeah, he's an older liberal.
yeah, because that's kind of what that's kind of his driving force. It's
Right.
just like the people oppressing
Robin Hood.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
oppressing everybody. But in the show, it's like I'm Robin Hood, but I also kill you before I take your.
Oh, in the show Arrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of like his role in Justice League Unlimited,
I love that
where Batman brings him in to be the like conscious of the Justice League.
because the first episode was actually
Of Unlimited, yeah, is him recruiting Green Arrow.
good stuff.
It is good stuff.
I was reading some panels because like on Instagram, there's a bunch of like comic book channels and pages and stuff like that, and one of them was talking. It was showing panels of injustice when Superman kills Green Arrow.
No, that happens?
Yeah, that happens.
That sucks.
He kills a lot of people.
Well, yeah.
He kills Shazam, which should never happen.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. But it's an alternate universe, non-canon, so
Right.
you can do whatever you want. But no, he like brutally kills him and then shows up at the gravesite after the funeral, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because it was like everybody that had both sides. A lot of people were there, and I think it was like Dan was like to Hal, And she was like, so you're still going to follow him after this? And he was just like, well, yeah, I'm going to still follow him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he didn't mean to do this. He totally meant to do it. Like,
Right.
If you
Oopsie.
If you read it, like,
It's Superman.
He's
like,
beating the hell out
come on.
of Green Arrow. And
come on now.
Green Arrow's like, I can't even talk. My mouth won't even work right now. Because that's how
Jeez.
bad he beat him.
Right.
And then I think it was like, he shows up to Diana, and Diana's just like, what the fuck are you even doing here, bro?
Right.
Like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm pregnant, and you killed my baby daddy and everything.
Diana was pregnant from Green Arrow?
Yeah.
What the hell? All right. I'll have to.
Not Diana, Dina.
Oh,
Black Canary.
yeah, Black Canary. Okay, cool. I thought you meant like Wonder
Dina.
Woman. I was like,
Dina,
damn,
Diana.
that's
Diana was.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, man, Green Arrow's dating
Dina.
up. Like, score one for Green Arrow.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Black Canary's a baddie.
Oh yeah, totally. But all right. So besides Cap and Spider-Man, my other Blue Lantern pick would be Miles Morales.
I could see that. I don't think I put Miles on this one.
I like the idea a lot of him being. I almost made him my blue and Spider-Man my green because I could just. They're two sides of kind of the same coin. Willpower and hope. I feel like you need both to feed into the other,
Now,
and for them to both be spider characters
I
worked
feel
really
like
well to me.
I feel like you can put Spider-Man down and just have the idea of Spider-Man, because Spider-Man in general, whether it be any Spider-Man, any person that's in the suit, has to exude all of those things.
Yes.
Not just Peter Parker. Even
Sure.
though Peter Parker is like the main totem.
Oh yeah, it could be Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider.
Because they all...
If they're gonna actually call her that.
Yeah.
Which I literally realized the other day that Ghost Spider's initials are GS, which is the same as Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it! I bet y'all did that shit on purpose. And
then
I'm
you-
just realizing
realize
it.
this shit. Yeah, no, man. But you can put Spider-Man in any of those things because they all go through the same tragic bull crap, and
Right.
they have to deal with all the same stuff. So
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's enough for blue there. Let's go to indigo, which is compassion. So indigo does actually not have a English translation of their oath.
Really?
Yes.
What?
It's some alien language, right? So there's several different translations. This is the one I like the best.
Well, it's
essentially.
actually called, like, it's not the Indigo Corps, it's called the Indigo Tribe.
Right. Yes.
So it makes
Yes.
sense.
So the translation I found that I liked the most was, "In sorrowful day, in misfortunate night, we help those who need our might. With the lantern power of Abin Sur, rid your misery with compassion might."
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, right? I don't know about you, but Indigo and Violet were my two hardest to really like nail someone down for.
Yeah.
That being compassion and love. One, because I don't think there are too many characters in Marvel that are very compassionate or very loving. They just seem to always fight each other. It's kind of like what I think of when I think of Marvel's characters. So who did you have for compassion here? I think there are a few obvious answers, and actually almost all of mine are within the same like area of Marvel.
All right, so got to start with Spider-Man,
Okay.
obviously.
Okay.
I think you go with Peter Parker specifically, because Peter Parker has many qualms with, like, killing specifically.
Right. He can be very like an angry young man sometimes.
He can be an angry young man, but he's also a young man, and yeah, I mean, he's gone through a lot of stuff. So yeah, he's an angry young man. But Peter Parker, it doesn't matter what, who's writing the story. He always takes on everybody's problems as his own.
Yeah, that's fair.
Something happens, and then it's his fault to him. It can totally be somebody else doing these things, and then he has to take the responsibility for it.
That makes him a very compassionate person.
So he has
That's
to be
fair.
super compassionate, and he always...
Oh, I just thought of one. Continue.
Oh, Professor X.
Oh yeah, he's on both of mine for this, for compassion and love.
I just wanted to put him down for something. I'm gonna go with.
Can you imagine that for one thing? Professor X with any lantern rings.
Any lantern?
He could have hope too for.
And
that's why I also
he's the
like
grand hope for for mutants.
And he's very full of hope, and to think that mutants and humans can eventually, like coexist.
He's an easy insert for a lot of those things. And I will go with T'Challa for Indigo.
Okay,
because that would be a dope visual.
That would be a dope visual. He is on my list, but not here. Where's he gonna be? Let's see.
Got 3 more colors to do?
Yep. So my choices for Compassion or Indigo. Professor X, I think, is he's on both. Like I said, he's both here for Indigo and Violet for me. I have Rogue on here in that, I think she's a compassionate character and that she knows what it's like to not have any to not feel support, as in physical touch and everything.
Too, she's not on my Indigo.
Love.
Yeah, she's gonna be Violet for me.
Gambit's under my Love one, so it'd be kind of interesting to have Gambit as Love.
It's weird because I was thinking putting Gambit on Love too. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be on the same wavelength there.
Yeah.
I wanted to put Gambit somewhere, but I just couldn't. He's an we need an Omega mutant or something like that.
Yeah, he's a very powerful. People underestimate Gambit.
He just throws the cards and he blow up, and I'm like, dude,
not quite.
You gotta have a lot of power to do it,
right? To psychically charge.
It's not
kinetically, isn't that it?
Yeah, it's literally not just the card that he can just blow up. He can.
It's anything. He charges his staff.
He can blow up anything. He can blow you up, sir.
Right. Kitty Pryde.
Yes.
All mine are X-Men.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know why I didn't put Kitty Pryde anywhere. I was thinking Kitty Pryde, but I was like, no, why I didn't put her down. But she would be a great place.
Yeah.
For Compassion and Love.
Yes. Night Nurse.
Night Nurse.
Yeah. From X-Men. And, I'm assuming from Daredevil. That she's always fixing up the other superheroes and stuff around Hell's Kitchen and whatnot. So makes her a compassionate caregiver, right? But I think this is my number one, and that's Storm.
Okay. Yeah.
Storm, at certain points in the X-Men's history, is the leader of the X-Men. Yes. She's kind of a younger Professor X as far as filling that role. She is the more compassionate character as opposed to Cyclops is more not militaristic, but by the book.
More, he's just the Boy Scout on the other side of the spectrum. He's the mutant Boy Scout,
right?
The super soldier Boy Scout.
And again, that visual would be really awesome. A indigo lantern wielding Storm.
I wanted to put T'Challa and Aurora in the same place, but I was just like, wouldn't it be cheesy if I put them in the same?
I did it with Rogue and Gambit.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into Love. If you have any,
Violet,
probably close to the same. People?
Star Sapphire, if you will. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Right? Star Sapphire, that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and the Lantern Oath for Violet, right? So for Love, is for hearts long lost and full of fright, for those alone in blackest night, accept our ring and join our fight. Love conquers all with violet light.
I just picture being a super huge, big, strong hero and having to say that. Just having to say that.
Totally. Let's get The Thing.
Love conquers all.
Right.
Love conquers all. I put Rogue.
Okay.
Pepper Potts would be dope.
I could see that.
Pepper Potts. This might be a little bit weird. You might think I'm crazy.
Okay.
Wanda.
No, I could see that.
You can see Wanda being... Okay, Wanda getting the love ring would be pretty awesome.
The love ring.
Especially good. With, the whole thing with her and Vision and everything. I put Jean Grey in there as well.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And those are going to be the ones that I pick.
So my choices for Violet for the love ring. Again, I just don't like the way that sounds. The love ring. This is the love ring coming at you live. Can I interest you in a fish sandwich? Professor X.
Of course,
I can
that's
an obvious choice. Gambit, I told you to put it on here. If Rogue was the compassion one, I would like to see Gambit have the love one. Just, I'll risk being cheesy there. And then the other one I have is Gwen Stacy, and I think that was kind of a not obvious pick. But she's young love,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you could give that to either Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane.
Right.
But
I think I would lean towards Gwen there. Okay, so now on to two very interesting ones. You wanna do death first or life first? Which one do you? Let's end with life. How about that?
Yeah, we can do death first.
Okay. So the Black Lantern oath is the blackest night falls from the sky, the darkness grows as all light dies. We crave your hearts and your demise. By my black hand, the dead shall rise. Bum, bum, bum. That's just right. Sounds like cheesy villain stuff there. Thanks, Hans Zimmer. Right, for your tones. Okay, who do you have for the Black Lantern, the Death Ring?
Okay, so we can start with Venom.
Okay.
Venom just being like the symbiote specifically.
Mm-hmm.
If like, cause there's like a cat Red Lantern, so it's not really picky on what it is, especially since after it, like the first human that the symbiote, fused with was Wade Wilson.
Really?
I think it was Wade Wilson was the first person.
Huh.
I think it was Deadpool, and that's why it's so insane. Symbiotes are actually
that's ridiculous.
Not generally angry, insane symbiotic
Right.
creatures. I mean, you gotta meld with somebody as crazy as that for you to be so
there
angry.
There it is.
And just with that, if you had like a manifestation, I think it was like maybe the lead or the main symbiote, I forget his name, but he looks pretty dope, and I think that would be like a great visual of Venom getting just the Black Lantern.
Mm-hmm. I mean, while you're at it, Deadpool, like you just mentioned, Deadpool in a Black Lantern ring would be pretty awesome.
That would be problems for
right.
everybody.
I mean, death is literally in his name.
Yeah, that would be problems.
And there's all the books like Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe and stuff.
Which is an actual awesome read if you've never read it.
Right. But I mean, like, I could see the Death Ring being like, hey, this guy Deadpool's onto something here.
It's like, his count is pretty high. I think he can go places with us. Galactus.
You want to know if you want to go pro.
You want to go pro. You're total amateur numbers right now. Just amateur over here. Bush League. Galactus.
Okay.
Apocalypse.
I literally just put Apocalypse on my list, but mostly because he has one of his horsemen is Death.
Yes.
So, like, really just whoever is the Death Horseman for Apocalypse at that time would be a solid choice for a Black Lantern ring.
I see him actually holding, it being Apocalypse, I see him holding like a few rings at one time.
Oh, nice. Nice. Infinity Gauntlet style here. That's a cool visual, too.
I would see that. Doom.
Sure.
Doom would be a Black Lantern.
Sure.
Wouldn't it be awesome to have like a Blade?
Oh, yes.
Blade be a...
I put that movie on at work the other night, too, by the way.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
God, you have so much fun doing that.
Right. It was just like a few regulars in, like maybe two, It was late at night. And mostly I just wanted to see the club scene in the beginning again, and on like the speakers and all the TVs and
the
stuff
first
we had at
Blade?
work. The first Blade.
The second Blade's pretty dope, though.
Second Blade is good, too.
The
but
third
that first
one,
no, we don't talk about that. But no, that first one, the rave scene in the beginning is
like
just so great.
When he throws his blade across the room, he catches
right.
it.
And then they fall or whatever, or turn to dust. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Who else I have? Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
Reed Richards.
Really? As Death?
Yes.
Why?
Because what is his name when he becomes evil?
We're talking about Reed Richards' son, right?
No, Reed Richards specifically, because he becomes evil and he can.
From the Ultimate Universe? Is that what you're going with?
Yeah, I just gotta look it up.
Okay.
But he can basically create universes.
The Maker.
The Maker.
The Maker. So
that could you give the Maker the death, or you can give him the white or the black.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, I mean, at this point, he's creating his own universes
Right.
and his own worlds at this point.
Yeah, well, if we're going with the Maker version, that is from Ultimate, so that is more of a bad guy usually.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Reed Richards is a villain. So sure, I could see that. I
think that's all I have.
All right, so my first one, I was very surprised you didn't say, but Thanos.
Yeah, but I was like...
He's courting death the whole time,
Yeah, but
especially comics Thanos.
But so is Deadpool, and I didn't put Deadpool at that as well.
Right, but he's not literally courting death in the same way that Thanos is literally wants to get with the physical embodiment of death.
Deadpool is too.
Really?
Yeah,
I wasn't aware of that.
that's in the comics.
Wolverine, again. Wolverine kills a lot of people, and that would be a really cool visual. Wolverine in an all-black suit. Yeah,
I
with
do
a
love that
lantern ring.
X-Force.
Yeah,
I do love
me
the
too.
X-Force suit.
The silver and black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Punisher. Because obviously,
we talked about that.
Right.
When you pitched the idea, you were just like, it would be dope to
right.
see.
For example, yeah, I was trying to give the most obvious,
yeah.
right? And yeah, Apocalypse. So those are I kind of like of those. I think I like Thanos the most.
Thanos,
right? As a Black Lantern ring, but
I still
of the ones I pitched.
I still like the idea of Apocalypse, just
oh yeah,
being way too powerful and way too
and
cheesy.
having a bunch of them.
Just
That would be
having
cool.
A whole bunch of rings.
Yeah,
because I mean he has his horsemen.
Yeah. Okay, so now on to the final one.
The final.
The White Lantern ring. So let me read the White Lantern ring oath. In brightest day there will be light, to cleanse the soul and set wrongs right. When darkness falls, look to the skies. A new dawn comes, let there be light.
That's a really good one.
That's a pretty good one, yeah. Who are your White Lantern choices?
I have a few.
Okay.
I really like a lot.
Okay.
But I feel like a very obvious one. Captain America.
Yeah, same.
Very obvious.
It was so obvious that Jeff Loeb titled, that color series that him and Tim Sale do? Like Spider-Man Blue, Daredevil Yellow, Hulk Gray.
Yeah.
He did a Captain America White.
So that's why they did that?
I mean, not to match it to the Green Lantern rings or anything.
Yeah, but it's just
it's just so obvious, and that he's pure-hearted. White's supposed to be a pure. Yeah.
So I think Captain America would be a great one.
Okay.
Then we have I think I said this before. Thor.
Sure.
Put Thor at the White Lantern. Black Panther.
Oh, you stole mine. That's the one that I'm just I don't really have a great reason for it, but the visual of a White Lantern Black Panther.
I mean, he's the king of his own country, and so
Yeah,
people's
sure.
lives are in his hand.
Right.
But I mean, he does.
No, look, we can get there.
We can come up with reasons.
Right, we
to
can get there.
him a ring,
but just
just to see
that idea.
Just to see him either in indigo or just
dude, in
Black
all
Panther.
white.
It should be all white with black outlines.
That would look so great. That would look so great. Maybe even just gold, all white with the gold thing around the neck or belt.
It's like a black. It's like white Power Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like a Power Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
that sounds great.
Characters like that. The reason why characters like that are my favorites because they're just mostly hands. They don't use a lot of weapons and everything.
Yeah.
I just love Spider-Mans and Black Panthers.
The Spider-Mans and the Panthers.
And the Captain Americas and all of that. And it's not a lot of powers being used.
Right.
It's a lot of I'm just stuck in that voice.
Yeah. Like Stanley.
But just those characters are dope. If you just put them if I feel like you put Spider-Man, you put Peter Parker and the White Lantern too.
Yeah, you could do that for sure.
That would also be just as awesome. You have him.
That would be a good looking costume too.
Like,
there's not too many people who you could, for white or black, that when you put in just like that solid all color scheme, they just wouldn't look great. You know,
because you have like the Future Foundation suit.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
That's a good looking one.
That's one of my favorite suits to use in Spider-Man.
Yeah, for the game, the PS4, nice.
And the Scarlet Spider Ben Riley suit.
Oh yeah, that's a classic one too. Yeah,
everything.
Yeah,
I love it.
Do you have any other White Lanterns?
Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Doctor Strange would be really when he holds the key to a lot of things.
Sure.
And
a multiverse of life.
Yes.
Fair enough.
And that suit just like.
Well, yeah, the all white cape or something that would look good.
Floating and flying everywhere. That would be dope.
That's fair. So the one I have that you did not mention, I only put 3 down for this one. Captain America, like we talked about, Black Panther. I was the most excited to talk about, but I think this one makes a lot of sense too when you think about it, and that's Vision.
Yeah.
Right. Like
I wanted to put Vision down on this, but
who more to appreciate the value of life than like someone that was gifted it after already having like the intelligence to know what it means, right? Because I mean, us humans pretty much take life for granted
all the time,
right?
Yeah.
Whereas Vision, like literally every day, I feel like he gives thanks for that. So, yeah, and again, that would be a really solid looking costume.
It's just the idea of just moving or just giving them a different look,
right? You keep the red skin and the gold thing on his forehead, but with the all white like. V, around his cape, and
it's like in Fear itself when like they had to create Asgardian weapons for like all of the characters and all the heroes, and they all got like different looks and everything. It was awesome.
Nice.
Just like all of them with Asgardian weapons, and it just kind of changes their look up. So I picture Spider-Man with like Asgardian gauntlets.
Oh, sweet!
Wouldn't that be dope?
Wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Awesome.
So, that was a lot of fun.
I had a lot of
literally
fun just coming up with stuff.
Oh yeah, just like going back and forth with it. Cool stuff. Yeah, if you're listening out there and you thought of one that seemed obvious to you, please tweet us at GRC Podcast. If you want to keep up with everything Grassroots Comics, like our Facebook page, just facebook.com/grassrootscomics. Got anything else for us today, Huey?
Oh no, man. It's just been a minute since we've done this.
Yep. Glad to have you back, and need to get you in the studio more for fun little thinker topics like this.
We got to really get together again.
We need to get our schedule exactly. Yeah. We need to get our schedules aligned. But we'll work on that so we can put out more These Guys Have Issues podcasts here for you.
Yeah, because we got a lot of ideas.
Yep.
A lot of things.
Other stuff is is in the works and stuff as well. Still kicking along Classic Cartoon Rewind. We're adding the 00 podcast, which should be. I'm hoping to do that monthly. I know we have another. We have a These Guys Have Issues one that's going to be coming out later this month. It's Halloween themed. So I'll go ahead and tease that right now. But that's going to be it for today. I've been your host, Carter Hutchison.
And I've been your co-host, Huey V.
And we'll see you next time, kiddos.
This is a Grassroots Comics production. Da da da. So what's your story?
What are you? Some kind of silly cartoon?
You got a problem with cartoons?